Hey everybody. So what I'm about to say may trigger some folks out there, but I want to preface this video by saying that there have been atrocious and criminal acts that have happened in people's lives that were way beyond their control. And clearly these people were victims in those cases. So I do not discredit that in the least bit. But having said that, I want to share a perspective about life. And again, this may trigger some of you out there. But I challenge you to hear me out. No matter how hard life gets, we are not victims of it. All of the unfair and unjust things that have happened to us have been circumstances in the process of life. However, we cannot blame life itself for these things. Now, it's true that as children, we were helpless to defend ourselves against many of the situations we faced. We were at the mercy of our caretakers, some of which were not good at their jobs in the least bit. But again, this is not life's fault. And no matter how horrible our youth may have been or our life is now, we cannot blame life or our parents for having us. Now, regardless of the circumstances in our lives that are beyond our control, we are still not victims of life. There are so many people in the world that look at their circumstances and say, my life sucks. They're blaming life, but this is not its fault. And whether they're aware of it or not, their words have power behind them. So what's happening here is we're assigning power to something other than ourselves. So does that mean we should be blaming our circumstances instead? Absolutely not, because this is just another cop-out. The point I'm trying to make is that as long as we blame others, our circumstances, life, etc., we remain powerless. We allow these things to have power and control over us. Again, we are doing this to ourselves. In essence, we are becoming victims of ourselves. Now, I'm not disregarding that often in moments where we could have the ability to say or do something, we are often paralyzed by fear and previous traumas to do anything about it. However, somewhere in there, we have the power to do something if we choose to. We just have to get to that point where we say enough is enough. Unfortunately, in some cases, that point is when our circumstances are so bad that we are willing to face death itself to stop whatever nightmares are happening to us. When we stop blaming life, circumstances, and others, we become responsible. We get our power back. We are now in control of our lives. Now, there's so many people out there in the world that just don't want that power. Regardless of whether they know it or not, they would rather remain victims than have to take responsibility. And this isn't any way to live. But for those of you who hear this message, just know that you are responsible for how you choose to perceive what happens to you in life. And as much as you may not want that responsibility, it's yours now. Now, that doesn't mean that there are things that will happen to us beyond our control, but we choose how we view these circumstances. We can either take responsibility or choose to remain in victimhood and stay stuck. However, just know that the truth is there is nothing else other than yourself to blame for the perspective you have moving forward. So now I ask you, are you going to let these things have power over you, or are you going to have power over yourself? Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. Our parents didn't make us, we came through them. We are all here for a reason, and it's clearly not to be victims of ourselves. And it's time for all of us to say enough is enough. We have to grab the reins and take our power back. We have to believe in ourselves because all of us are capable of doing it. All right, we'll talk soon. Peace.